Coming up on Juice and Java, it's Beheim Day on campus.
Plus, our reporter Maura Vaughn joins us live from the Syracuse International Film Festival.
Plus, we sat down with an SU basketball alum to talk about his annual basketball camp.
All that and more, Juice and Java starts right now. It's a big day for one of the biggest coaches in college basketball history. Thanks for joining us at 11:30. I'm Zach Richter.
And I'm Ilana Epstein. Jim Beheim Day is being celebrated at today's men's basketball game against Notre Dame. SU will be honoring Beheim's legacy in a ceremony hosted by SU alum Mike Tirico. Beheim retired at the end of the 2022 season and is recognized by the NCAA as the Division I coach with the second most wins of all time.
Over 50 assistant coaches, managers, and former players will be attending today's game. Many will also be featured in video shares memories of Beheim that will be played on display screens in the Dome. The game starts in less than 30 minutes, and I know as soon as we end, I will be right over there.
I will also be right over there. My parents are here today in studio, and they're actually going to be coming with me. It's such an exciting game. Mike Tirico is going to be there.
Yep.
So many basketball players and coaches. It's so exciting.
And it's so exciting that Beheim, being one of the best coaches ever, is finally getting his chance to be honored, too.
It's really great, and I know so many students are going to be attending. There's not that many games left in the season, so it's exciting that everyone's going to be going to this one.
That's true, yeah.
And as Black History Month comes to a close, SU is hosting a celebration of Black icons in dance. Join classical ballet dancer Charles Hazla and the youth dancers at the Community Folk Arts Center Creative Academy for an evening of performances and dance history. The free event goes from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. at the Community Folk Arts Center Black Theater on East Genesee Street across from the Syracuse stage.
And the New York Business Plan competition will take place on March 22nd at SUNY Oswego's downtown Syracuse campus. The committee is accepting applications through Friday, March 1st, and the competition is an opportunity for college students across New York State to pitch their business plans to investors. Now students will have the opportunity to receive feedback and critique from judges in the business community. The two top regional teams will advance to the final competition in Albany on April 25th. Students interested in learning more about this opportunity can visit the Blackstone Launchpad located in Byrd Library.
The Syracuse International Film Festival begins its first ever event honoring Black filmmakers later today. CitrusTV's Maura Vaughn joins us now live from Buried Acorn Restaurant. Maura, what kind of films can we expect?
Ilana, there are various films happening here today, feature films, documentaries, and even a film that took 15 years to create. Syracuse International Film Festival is holding its first annual Black Outstanding Filmmaker ceremony, highlighting Black filmmakers from around the world. I had the opportunity to speak with Daniel Myricks, who is a Hollywood director who's coming back to Syracuse to explain why events highlighting Black directors are so important.
Black people have been making films for a long time. And me being in Hollywood, like I worked on The Matrix 1, 2, and 3. I worked in Avengers, stuff like that. So, and I've seen what's happening inside. And I've also seen like awesome, talented filmmakers. I mean, they've done some stuff that I would never, I was like, wow, you did, wow, all right, people has to see this. But every time they go down those roads, they met with opposition.
Now there are four films being showcased today: Guardians of the Fallen, If a Flower Bloomed, The Poison Gardens, and Kid Come Saw It. Guardians of the Fallen is actually the 15-year documentary that I was talking about earlier, so definitely an interesting thing to see how that movie has progressed throughout the years. This entire showcase will be from 2 to 7 o'clock today, so you definitely can come down to check out 4 of the films. Tickets can still be purchased online, and there will also be a ceremony at 7 p.m. highlighting local filmmaker Eric Storyteller. That's all from me. Guys, back to you.
And new at 11 this morning, SU students helped build beds yesterday for the nonprofit group Sleep in Heavenly Peace. About 100 students worked to build 40 beds from scratch for kids in the greater Syracuse area. Now, the event was hosted by Syracuse University volunteer organization, and this is the first time they have hosted a mobile bed build on campus.
The Syracuse chapter of SHP has built and delivered over 4,500 beds, but there are over 870 applicants in the area still waiting. The SU volunteer organization hopes to make the collaboration with SHP an annual tradition. Zach, this is really great. It's so great that students are able to get involved in community service. I know that's a really important thing to do, being in this community. Yeah, it's so great that, exactly what you're saying, to get involved in the community, to get out there, because sometimes a lot of the students are just stuck to campus up here, and to really make an impact in the local community, I think is just so huge. I think it's really great. Yeah, and honestly, I mean, I've heard a lot of great things about this organization, and I hope that everyone's, waiting on the list gets approved, and it'd be really great, and I hope more students get involved with things like this. Definitely, and this is also such a great organization, Sleep in Heavenly Peace, so I'm so happy that SU is taking the steps to be a part of it. Absolutely. Well, Syracuse University is home to over 22,000 active students, each of which have their own traits, interests, and hobbies. Here to tell us about one student making his mark on the music industry is Citrus TV's Charlie Goldberg. Charlie, good morning.
Good morning, Zach. Haven Hall. It's a large dorm home to a bunch of freshman and sophomore students. However, inside of Haven Hall, one room stands out from the rest. I had the chance to visit room 451 and truly found out what makes it special. Room 451 in Syracuse University's Haven Hall is anything but typical. It's a makeshift recording studio where artist Sammy Kukuru spends quality time with his microphone,
there it is,
guitar, and the rest of his equipment.
I started making music officially when I was in like 8th grade, I would say, and then I just kind of never looked back, just like started making beats, writing to the beats, and now I put them out online.
Kukru is a current sophomore studying in Syracuse University's SI Newhouse School of Public Communications in the Bandier program. He's looking to pursue a career in the music industry.
So essentially, like, when I have my beat and it's made, from there I go in and I'll mumble over it, just like what I feel like a song would sound like. I'm trying to find the vibe of like which flow works the best for this section of the beat or whatever. And then what I'll do is I'll go in and then I'll actually like write, what the words should be in that position. Now I write and record all my music in here with the help of my friends. I have a band who I'm very privileged to have, and they help me play all my music live, and we've had the opportunity to play for some really cool crowds and some cool spaces.
With 3 singles already out on all platforms, Sammy Kukuru continues to be excited, motivated, determined, and talented as he enters into the music industry. Charlie Goldberg, Citrus TV News.
Charlie, thanks so much. The Syracuse Crunch hockey team are holding their annual Pride Night game today. Hockey is for Everyone night celebrates LGBTQ diversity in all levels of sports. The team will use pride tape on their sticks during warm-ups. The team will also wear a unique pride jersey during the game. The design boasts rainbow stripes and a Progress Pride flag patch on their shoulder. There will be a live auction on the ice for one jersey following the game, and money raised from the bidding will benefit CNY Pride. The Crunch will compete against the Belleville Senators at 7 p.m. tonight. And I love going to Crunch games, by the way. They're so much fun. So for them to be doing an event like this, I think we'll just encourage even more people to come. Again, it's another really awesome event for the community, and I actually got to go to my first game earlier this year. It was so much fun, and it's so great. And this is another great way to bring the community together, and I'm so excited to see those jerseys. Yeah, definitely. And moving on in to kick off the St. Patrick's Day season, the Green Beer Sunday Parade returns to Syracuse. The Syracuse tradition has been hosted on the last Sunday of February by Coleman's Authentic Irish Pub for over 60 years. Take advantage of the mild weather as the parade starts at Tip Hill's upside down traffic light. It ends at Coleman's on South Lowell Street, where they'll have live music, the iconic green beer, and celebrations all through the neighborhood. The parade kicks off at noon tomorrow. This is so exciting. I know so many students and people in this community participate in this event, and it's so much fun. It's a little early celebration for St. Patrick's Day. Have you been?
I have never been, but yesterday I was just in varsity right down the street, and every single person in there was talking about this event tomorrow. They were like, oh my God, I'm so excited for Sunday. I'm so excited for the parade. And I was like, wait, should I have to change my plans around to go?
You might have to go. I mean,
Yeah.
you are a senior. It's your last year. It's your last year to participate in this, so you might have to go. I think I'll be going next year, but hopefully the weather will hold up for it.
Yeah, well, Jude Bazerman joins us now in studio. Jude, will the weather hold up?
Well, Zach, luckily there's no snow in the forecast, which again in February in Syracuse is very lucky. Temperature sits around 19 to 20 degrees today, but it's kind of deceptively sunny. And what I mean by that is the sun's shining really bright. If you look outside your apartment or your house, you're gonna look and say, oh wow, must be a beautiful day. Not that many clouds, the sun's shining bright. It looks really cool. Step outside, the temperature feels around 5 or 6 degrees. The wind's blowing at around 10 or 11 miles an hour, along with a couple other factors making the temperature feel a lot colder than it actually is. And then looking into our game day forecast, men's basketball tipping off against Notre Dame in just a few minutes. Not too much temperature fluctuation today as the game goes along. 3 o'clock when it lets out, it's gonna be 23, and then 6 o'clock around dinner time. When the sun kind of goes down, it's going to drop a little bit to 20 degrees, but no precipitation in the forecast today. Looking into the region, again, not too much temperature fluctuation, but if you're going to the southern part of the state in Ithaca or Binghamton, there's some cloud coverage, but again, no snow anywhere in the state today, which in New York in February, again, is pretty much a miracle. Guys, back to you.
Okay, Jude, thanks so much. Still ahead this morning at 11:30, we sit down with the Syracuse basketball alum.
And the Guild Awards are tonight. Your full entertainment headlines are still ahead. We'll be right back.
Please tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Can birds draw pictures?
I don't have an answer for that.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right. Because a few hours ago, in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
The black truck? Hey, Christina from accounting.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, I used to date a girl named Christina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then she dumped me for my best friend. You want to see some photos of them that I took?
I don't.
I thought we talked about this, buddy.
Buzzed and overshared again?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna call a car.
That's a smart idea.
So yeah, I know, that's why I did it.
Hey, you're gonna get back to the top of the mountain.
Does that mean I'm gonna get back with Christina?
No.
Oh.
No.
You're watching Juice and Java with Zach Richter, Ilana Epstein, and Jude Bazerman. Now, your morning news continues.
Welcome back to Juice and Java. We are now joined by Syracuse basketball alum Bai Keita.
He is currently organizing his 5th annual basketball champ for the youth in his hometown of St. Louis, Senegal. Did I pronounce that?
Senegal.
Senegal, okay. So my first question to you is, so when did you start the camp and how did this idea come about?
So after graduation, I went back to, playing. So I played my first year in Denmark. Second year I went to Belgium, and I just realized, okay, what can I do to have influence in my hometown? And throughout that process, got hurt, so decided to retire, and then right after that, start working with the NBA. And my focus was for grassroots, which is age 4 to 14. And I'm like, how can I'm doing this thing with the other countries. I was doing camps in Mexico, Brazil, Europe, China. But I'm like, how can I bring that to Senegal? Because Africa is such a big continent. Nobody really think about going back and helping. And I decided, you know, to the red tape, I had to talk to the lawyers and figure out how can I have this camp. I could not use anything with the NBA, so I decided to do a GoFundMe. That's the only way I was able to do it without using the NBA name because of the lawyers and everything that was going on.
Wait, I just have a follow-up question. So you got to do these camps before you went back to your hometown all around the world, right?
Yes.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah.
So from Senegal to Syracuse, how did your time here in Syracuse impact you?
I mean, it was definitely, coming on campus was definitely, Syracuse was the only campus I visited throughout my college visit. Even though I have offer from other schools, I visited and I just felt like it was home. It was like a feeling that, you know, you just get there and I just feel like it was a right fit. So I didn't visit any other campus but Syracuse.
That's amazing. And what are the profits from this camp going towards?
So the profits, every year we focus on something. My first year, I'm working with the NBA. The NBA also started a league called the Basketball Africa League. So I get to go home, help them run the operation on that. And from there, I started focusing on just like, what can I do to improve these kids playing basketball? Because, I mean, the roads here were much better than the court they were playing in. The first year, I focused on just having the level, fixing that. The second year, I was just grabbing stuff around the office and just like giving that away. And then now, the next year, we focus on hygienes because, you know, most people don't really think about like hygienes, and I was kind of helping them understand the importance of the hygiene. So I will purchase soap, deodorant, toothpaste from the US and then transporting it over back home, and that's what I will use the proceeds for. Last year we used our backboard, but it's wooden backboard, and you know, there's not the elements, there's nothing, it's outdoor. There's not no such thing as an indoor basketball court in Senegal. There's far and few in between. So we were fixing it every year. So I'm like, why not just buy a glass backboard, which is much easier to maintain, not a lot of fixing every year. So all throughout this, I never thought about, they don't have bathrooms. Like, can you picture like going to a gym in the US and say, oh, we don't have a bathroom. So this year, the main goal is just to build 2 bathrooms, one for the men's, one for the girls, and then also provide a shaded area. Average temperature in Senegal is low 70 to high like 100 to 105. So it's like there's nowhere for them to sit. So I'm like, I have to do something. I was like, oh, after year 1, I'm not gonna do anything, but every year kind of I go back and just trying to give back. I think it came also from Coach Beheim, you know, giving back to the community with his foundation, Jim and Julie. So I decided to do the same thing back home.
It's so great that you're doing this in your hometown too. Thank you so much for all of your insight and everything. We really do appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
It's so great to have you back here. Thank you so much. Bye. Yeah. All ahead on the latest on Wendy Williams' health, and Barbra Streisand is expected to get a major award.
Plus, your 5-day forecast is still ahead. You're watching Jude and Java right here on CitrusTV News, and we'll be right back.
I see you mobbing over her. Let's go. Let's mob. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, we mobbing. Come on, girl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl.
If you're buzzed and doing this, to make yourself feel okay to drive,
CWX.
you're not okay to drive.
YGKLVW. Regular you.
They'll test you. Try to break your will. But however loud the loudness gets, however many cheese puffs may fly, you're the driver, the one in control. Stand firm. Just wait. And move only when you hear the click that says they're buckled in for the drive. Never give up till they buckle up.
Speaking of what's hot, the TV Guide is filled with entertainment this weekend.
Our entertainment reporter Riley Underwood is here to break it all down. Riley, good morning.
Good morning, guys. And tonight is going to be a big one because the 30th Screen Actors Guild Awards will take center stage, but this time it won't be on a regular TV channel. Tonight at 8 p.m., the awards will be broadcast live onto Netflix. This is the first time that the streaming giant has ever broadcasted the SAG Awards, and the stars will be out. That's because the show is the only awards ceremony to exclusively honor actors. They'll announce 13 awards in TV and film. Leading this year's nominations are Barbie and Oppenheimer, who scored the most nominations with 4 each, including Outstanding Cast in a Motion Picture. Many are predicting Oppenheimer to come out with the most hardware at the end of the night, and Issa Rae and Kumail Nanjiani, stars of the 2020 movie The Lovebirds, will host the show, and Barbra Streisand will be given a Lifetime Achievement Award. And it's been 2.5 years since Wendy Williams hosted her final television show, and now she's back in the news. Tonight, the first half of a 2-part docuseries will air at 8 on Lifetime. Filmmakers started following Williams in August of 2020 and did so until April of last year, when she was admitted to what they call a wellness facility. Her health has spiraled downwards since her Graves' disease diagnosis in 2018. During the docuseries filming, you'll see that there were substance abuse issues that contributed to her state as well. The 59-year-old also now has dementia. Williams is still in the facility today, and her family says a court-appointed legal guardian is the only person who has access to her, and Williams' family doesn't even know who the caretaker is. And now her guardian is suing A&E, the docuseries company, and tried to halt the release, but they said that won't stop him. And Where is Wendy Williams will air tonight and tomorrow night in the 2-part event. A lot of behind-the-scenes details are expected to be exposed. Guys.
Riley, thank you so much as always. Still to come this morning on Juice and Java, our Michael Lamort sits down with New York City home cook Joe Namoli.
And he's not just a chef. The Lamort Report is next.
Welcome back to Juice and Java. Joining me right now is a very special guest, Joe Namoli. He's on the new season of Next Level Chef with Gordon Ramsay. Joe, it's a pleasure to have you join us today. What got you started with cooking?
Oh golly, I guess when I was a kid. My parents split when I was 5, and so my mother had to go to work, and I was really raised by like my mother, my grandmother, and my older sister. And I remember just being in the kitchen all the time when my mother was at work. My grandmother would be, cooking in the kitchen. And because I was so young, you kind of had to stay right by her side. So I was always in the kitchen. I was always watching my grandmother cook. I was always doing, even though I was small, I was just around it all the time. Later on, as I got older, I just naturally gravitated towards the kitchen and wanted to eat and make stuff that I watched my family make.
Now, if I remember correctly, a little while ago, you posted on your story how you were both excited and terrified at the possibility of Gordon Ramsay putting 2 pieces of bread to your head and calling you an idiot sandwich. So what was that like to meet the person who's known for ridiculing his chefs, but this time on the other side of the TV screen?
It was quite an experience. You know, you almost want to be terrified, but you can't be, you know, because you got to hold your own. And I'm not a chef. I do pride I know how to cook, and I'm a damn good cook. But that's what I am. You know, and in fact there were 3 categories on the show, and home cook was the category I was in, and you know, proud of it. But I pride myself on not being a chef, but almost a guy like your everyday Joe, your average Joe, you know, that comes home and cooks a meal. That's who I was trying to represent on the show. Working with him was it was a blast. It was a hoot, you know. But he has more of a mentor role in this show. He's not really screaming and yelling at you. You know, he's trying to mentor you to become the next level chef.
And what was Ramsay like off the camera?
My time was limited on the show, but he was a gentleman and really a quite like a very, very nice guy. Tough but fair, you know, especially when we were cooking. But even the small moments off camera, you know, can't say enough nice about him.
Well, Joe, it seems like you're living your dream life. But for the college student who's watching right now that may not be too confident in their dreams, what can you say to them right now?
When you're in college, do everything. Take every minor, go into every field, try every job, because you have all the time in the world to mess up. There's no better time to mess up. You don't want to mess up, and we don't set out to mess up, but you have so much time left in your life that you can go and mess up 100 times and still find something you're amazing at. And you're not going to know what you're good at until you try it and you find out what you're good at and what you're not. So you have a dream, you have something you want to do, and listen to nobody that's negative. People that told me I can't do any of this, you're never going to amount to any. I was a janitor. Somebody said, you're never going to be more than a janitor. I was just on network TV 2 weeks ago, cooking with Gordon Ramsay. Yes, did I win? No. However, a hell of a lot more than the person in question, you know, would said to me. So just do everything and anything, and have fun when you're doing it, and don't listen to anybody that is negative around you. You leave those people in the dust. That's it.
Beautifully said, Joe. Thank you again for joining us today. It was really a pleasure having you on Juice and Java. If you guys want to find more of Joe's cooking content, you can follow him on Instagram at JoeMakeMeCook. In the meantime, we got more Juice and Java coming up right after this break.
It might be cold today, but as we look later ahead into the week, the temperatures are going to rise and the sun is going to continue. That's all for me. Guys, back to you.
Thanks so much, Jude. That's all the time we have for Juice and Java this morning.
Check us out online at CitrusTV.com and follow us at CitrusTV on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. I'm Zach Richter.
I'm Ilana Epstein. Have a great day, Syracuse.